Speaking of shooters, he's Dame Lillard, Bucks point guard, 8-time NBA All-Star, had a win last night and beat the Sixers. Got the Suns coming up this weekend. How would you rank the range that Caitlin Clark has?
How would I rank her range?
Yeah.
I would put it up pretty high. Um, Seeing as she shoot a lot of those shots off the bounce, she's being defended hard. It's one thing to shoot from deep, but I think shooting it like off the bounce in traffic, in big moments, consistently as she is, I would rank it pretty high.
And I'm sure that she was inspired by players like you and Steph, some of these great shooters. But it's tough for a coach to go, hey, go ahead and shoot wherever you want to, I would think.
It is. It is. I think even when I first got in the NBA, my first NBA coach, Terry Stotts, would get frustrated with me shooting deep shots. And then I think as he saw me working on it more and more and more, and it started to become a more efficient shot for me, and I was able to get it off quick, and I was able to make it in big moments, like I said. I was able to make it well defended. I think he started to see that it also stretched the defense out. They had to play me further out the floor, up the floor, and it just gave us more room to operate, and to run our offense, and our team benefit from it.
Do you practice? How do you practice the kind of off balance or somebody in your face? Anybody can stand and shoot and probably make a few of them, but to do something that it's going to be a real game-like situation, how do you practice that?
I think it's I do this thing called foundation shooting, and it starts, from mid range where I'm, shooting without jumping. I'll start off without jumping, then I'll start from a dipped position, and then my trainer will be like, go, and I'll just have to shoot from like the dip position with no wasted motion, no momentum, and then I'll do that with a fade, and then I'll add a bounce to it, and then pause, and then fade. And you just keep working your way out, to the three-point line where you shoot without jumping, and then you shoot without momentum. And then, sometimes I'll get in a dip position and I'll get on one leg and do it. And I just keep building, from mid-range further and further out. And I think it makes you a stronger shooter. And then you just become more and more confident from doing that all of the time. And then you start to do it off the bounce. And I think it's just the reps after that.
Is the three-point shot good for the NBA?
I think it is. It makes it harder to defend, I guess. It puts the defense at the offense's mercy. And where we are right now in the game of basketball, you want a fun game. You want an entertaining game. And I think when you got so many guys out there that can shoot the ball, you gotta account for guys further out, and that opens up the drive, that activates the help side of the defense, the low man on the defense, and it just creates a more entertaining game, for fans to watch. But I also think on the flip side, it's changed the game a lot, because it's run and gun, people firing threes. You look at some of the best shooters of all time, and they were shooting 3 threes a game.
Yeah.
Before, and now you got guys shooting 12 per game and 10 per game. So I can't say that it's the best thing, but I think it makes for a more entertaining game, higher scoring, guys getting more points, more, well-rounded skill set for players. Now you got, dudes like Wemby out here shooting step-back threes and one-leg threes and stuff like that. So the game is constantly evolving, and I think the three-point shot is a big part of that.
What do you make of Victor Wembanyama?
Man, I think he's special. Like when I first started to see him, I was like, the first thing you think is hype. Like I could see that he was clearly a good basketball player, but it was just so much hype around him that you like, man, he's so tall and long, and the game is so fast. How is he gonna do in the NBA? And then you see like he got like a little twitch with him, even though he's tall and lanky. He moves quick. Is fluid. He's doing things you just haven't seen somebody do at that size before. I think we've always been extremely impressed with Kevin Durant doing it at 6'11". Now you got to do 7'5" that's doing the same thing. It's just getting crazy, man. But I think Wemby is special, and I think how competitive he is what surprised me the most, and that's what makes me think that very soon I can see him being the best player in the league.
How do you explain the Joker?
I mean, I don't think it's really too much to explain. I think you got guys that you look at and you say, this dude is super fast, or this dude is super athletic, or this guy can really shoot. There are certain things about guys that that jump off the page. And I think with Joker, he's just a great basketball player. I've seen him be out of shape and dominate. I've seen him in shape and dominate. I've seen him score a bunch of points. I've seen him, playmaking. I've seen him rebounding. He's just a great basketball player.
We're talking to Dame Lillard. I was talking to Chris Mannix, who covers the NBA, and he says that you talk boxing with him all the time.
Yeah.
What kind of boxer do you think you would have made?
I think I would have been a pretty good. I think I would have been a pretty good boxer. 1 second.
Like if you fought Jake Paul.
See, I think if you with somebody like Jake Paul, because I train, I'm always in the gym in the summer. I love the sport of boxing. I think with somebody like Jake Paul, I know how important experience is in boxing, and I think he's got so much experience now where he's fought in these big events. He's taking boxing serious. He's in boxing gyms all the time now. Like, he's taking it serious. So I think, he's taking the route of a true fighter, and anybody who hasn't had that opportunity, or anybody who hasn't, taken it that serious, as far as wanting to become a fighter, then you shouldn't be mentioned with those guys. I think he's doing all the things to earn the right to be mentioned with fighters. But for me, I'm not going to go barking up a tree of somebody that's considering being a professional fighter when, I do it out of love of the sport, and also just to know that I can properly defend myself if it comes down to it.
Who would be the best? If I said I'm going to train this person to be a boxer, a professional boxer in the NBA, who would be your pick?
If I could pick just like anybody.
Anybody is going to be in the ring. You pick the guy you're going to be in the ring, and you think that he would be the best representation of an NBA player who's going to be a professional boxer.
I would take, let's see.
There's a lot of tough guys, right? You should be able to. No?
I don't think it's tough guys, but I wouldn't even look for the toughest guy.
Okay. How about Draymond? How would Draymond do in the ring?
You never know. I think Draymond has the he's tough. He's tough mentally. So I think Draymond could, be a good fighter, but that's only part of it. I'm trying to think of the body type. Everybody would probably be like, LeBron, but that's like a big dude. You want somebody that's kind of like wiry, light, that's stronger than you would think. Tough mentally. That could get to a weight where they could be dangerous as well. Like, I think I would be a good one. I think.
Would you ever get in the ring with Tyson?
Hell no. I don't care if he was 68. I wouldn't do it.
That is the correct answer.
Yeah.
Help me understand what it was like that first month of the season with Milwaukee to where you guys are now. What was the biggest difference?
I think the first month, just trying to settle in, with my life, more than anything.
Yeah.
Just, I got 3 kids. I've been in Portland for 11 years, and everything was just set up around me perfectly as far as my family, to where I could just focus on basketball, and then my life that's most important to me was laid out perfectly. And then coming here, leaving my kids behind, leaving my family behind, I knew what I signed up for, but it's still a major adjustment. So that was tough. And then just being on a new team, trying to find my place within this team, not having like a summer of being with the team. It wasn't like I came here like in free agency or I got traded in the middle of the summer. It was like a couple of days before training camp. So just trying to get comfortable, just trying to find my place. It was tough in that first month. And I think now we've had enough time to where it's like, okay, I see where I could impact this team. I see where I can help this team. I see the journey. I see the difference in the journey for me here than the last couple of years in Portland and what's important. And I think that's the biggest difference, is not looking at our season and myself the way that I did in the past. Now I know that it's a much longer journey. It's a different type of goal, and being invested in that has been like the biggest help and difference for me so far, like this at this point in the season.
I got Doc Rivers here, and Doc wanted to say something to you. Hey, Doc.
How you doing, Dame? I tell these guys, you got to give me 48. Give me 48. Sometimes it takes more than 48 if we go to overtime. He can do whatever. He can take whatever shot he wants. I'll let him shoot green light from the parking lot. He can shoot wherever he wants. But you got to give me 48 if we're going to get where we're going.
Thank you, Doc.
Wow.
How would you rate that?
He started off strong, man. It tailed off.
Okay.
After about 10 seconds, man. It's tough to sustain that voice.
Yeah, that's a coach's voice there. And you probably hear it way too much, far more than you want to. But
it's actually not as bad as people like make it out to be in person. Like, I haven't even in person, like, obviously you notice his voice, but it's not that bad.
Yes, Doc.
It's bad. It's bad. I should probably see somebody. I think I got like nodules on my throat.
Hey, Dame, thanks for joining us, and good luck the rest of the season.
Appreciate it, man. It's always good to be on.
That's Dame Lillard.